We scrub our skin, we brush our teeth, and we wash our hair. But when was the last time you thought about the hygiene of your blood vessels? It sounds strange to say it that way, doesn't it? But as we age, our arteries lose their natural non-stick coating, turning into magnets for cholesterol, calcium, and cellular debris. They get stiff, they get clogged, and frankly, they become dangerous. We feel this as fatigue, shortness of breath, or that nagging worry when a number on a blood pressure monitor creeps too high. But here is the good news. Nature has provided a solution. Science has identified 6 specific foods that act like a gentle solvent for your circulatory system. These aren't just meals, they are internal soap for your arteries, designed to wash away the inflammation and restore that smooth, flexible flow of your youth. Today, we are going to walk through these 6 powerhouse foods. We aren't just talking about generic eating healthy. We are going to dive deep into the biochemistry of how these foods can help your blood vessels relax even at age 80, including a specific odorless garlic hack that a wise cardiologist friend once shared with me, and the specific omega-3 fat that acts as a shield for both your heart and your brain. By the end of this video, you will have a specific heart-healthy shopping list that proves the best medicine often comes from the grocery store, not the pharmacy. You deserve to feel vibrant and energetic, and we are going to get there together. Before we dive into our first powerhouse food, I want to welcome you to our community. If you believe that your best years are still ahead of you, and you're looking for the kind of deep, science-backed senior health tips that doctors often overlook in those rushed 15-minute appointments, please consider clicking that subscribe button. We are building a movement here of people taking control of their aging. And I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from today? Let me know in the comments below. It's always so inspiring to see how far our family stretches across the globe. Now, let's start our journey to cleaner arteries with the first item on our list, a humble breakfast staple that is far more powerful than it looks. We often dismiss oatmeal as just a boring, mushy bowl of comfort food, but specifically, steel-cut oats are a weapon against arterial stiffness. The magic here lies in a specific type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan. I want you to visualize your digestive system for a moment. When you eat processed toast or sugary cereals, they rush through you, spiking your blood sugar and inflammation. But when you eat steel-cut oats, that beta-glucan dissolves in water to form a thick, gel-like substance in your gut. Think of this gel as a sticky trap or a soapy sponge. As it moves through your digestive tract, it actually binds to cholesterol-rich bile acids. Your body, realizing it's losing these bile acids, has to pull LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, out of your bloodstream to make more bile. It's literally siphoning the sludge out of your blood to replenish its own supplies. And this isn't just folklore. A seminal meta-analysis published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition looked at dozens of controlled trials and found that consuming just 3 grams of beta-glucan daily, about the amount in a hearty bowl of oats, can reduce total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol by significant margins, often between 5 to 7%, without changing anything else in the diet. That might sound small, but in the world of cardiovascular risk, a 1% drop in cholesterol can translate to a 2% drop in heart attack risk. However, the type of oat matters. Instant oats are often stripped of their structure and digest too quickly, spiking your insulin. You want the steel-cut variety, which takes longer to digest and keeps that gel working in your system longer. So here's your actionable takeaway. Tomorrow morning, trade the toast for a bowl of steel-cut oats. If you want to supercharge it, throw in some berries, but avoid the brown sugar. Let the oats do the heavy lifting of scrubbing those vessel walls while you simply enjoy your breakfast. Moving on to our second internal soap, we have a fruit that directly addresses that non-stick coating I mentioned in the beginning. I'm talking about the pomegranate. This isn't just a tasty fruit. It is an absolute titan when it comes to endothelial health. The endothelium is that incredibly thin, delicate lining on the inside of your blood vessels. When that lining gets damaged by high blood pressure or sugar, plaque starts to stick to it, like grime sticking to a scratched pan. Pomegranates are rich in unique antioxidants called Punicalagins, which are potent protectors of this lining. But the real headline here is about a molecule called nitric oxide. You might have heard of it. Nitric oxide is the body's natural vasodilator. It tells your arteries to relax, open up, and let blood flow freely. As we age, our ability to produce nitric oxide plummets, which is why our arteries get stiff. Pomegranate juice has been shown to protect nitric oxide from being destroyed in the body, effectively boosting its levels. In fact, a famous study published in the journal Clinical Nutrition followed patients with carotid artery stenosis, that's narrowing of the neck arteries, for 3 years. The results were staggering. The patients who consumed pomegranate juice saw a reduction in the thickness of their arterial plaque by up to 30%, while the control group actually saw their plaque increase by 9%. Imagine that for a second. We often think of plaque as a one-way street, that it only gets worse. This study suggests that with the right nutritional intervention, we might be able to reverse the tide. It's like taking a high-pressure hose and gently washing away the buildup that has been hardening your arteries for decades. Now, a word of caution, pomegranate juice can be high in natural sugar, and we don't want to spike your glucose. So the best approach is to eat the seeds, the arils themselves, or if you drink the juice, limit it to a small shot glass, about 2 to 4 ounces, diluted with water. Treat it like a medicinal tonic, not a thirst quencher. It's a small addition to your day, perhaps sprinkled over a salad or those steel-cut oats we just mentioned, but the impact on your arterial flexibility can be profound. Now, before we get to the third food, I want to pause and ask, how is your energy level these days? Do you find yourself needing a nap just to get through the afternoon? If so, give this video a quick thumbs up. It helps me know that we are focusing on the right issues, because arterial health and energy levels are intimately connected. If your blood can't flow efficiently, your cells and your brain aren't getting the oxygen they need to keep you vibrant. This brings us directly to our third powerhouse, a pungent bulb that has been used medicinally for at least 5,000 years, garlic. But I'm not just talking about tossing a clove into your pasta sauce and hoping for the best. There is a specific science to unlocking garlic's cleaning power that most people miss completely. The magic compound in garlic is called allicin. It's responsible for that distinct smell and the burning sensation, but it's also a sulfur compound that acts as a potent anti-inflammatory and blood pressure regulator. However, here's the secret. Allicin does not exist in a whole clove of garlic. It is only created when 2 other compounds mix together, and that mixing only happens when the garlic is crushed or chopped. If you crush your garlic and immediately throw it into a hot pan, the heat destroys the enzyme needed to create allicin before it has a chance to work. You get the flavor, but you lose the medicine. To get the internal soap effect, you must use the 10-minute rule. Crush or chop your garlic. And then, this is the hard part, do nothing. Let it sit on the cutting board for 10 minutes. This allows the enzymatic reaction to fully occur, maximizing the allicin content. Then you can cook it and the allicin remains stable. Why go through this trouble? Because the payoff is immense. A comprehensive study from the University of Adelaide in Australia analyzed multiple trials and concluded that aged garlic extract could lower blood pressure just as effectively as standard medication in people with uncontrolled hypertension. We are talking about a drop in systolic blood pressure, the top number that significantly reduces the risk of stroke. It relaxes the blood vessels, preventing them from clamping down and forcing your heart to overwork. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds great, but I can't walk around smelling like a garlic factory. I hear you, and that is a valid concern for our social lives. This brings us to the odorless hack I promised. If you want the benefits without the social penalty, many of my friends and patients have switched to aged garlic extract supplements, which retain the cardiovascular benefits without the pungent aroma. Or, if you prefer the real thing, chewing on fresh parsley or mint leaves immediately after eating garlic can neutralize the sulfur compounds on your breath. It's a small trick that lets you keep your heart safe and your friends close. Let's transition now to the C for our fourth arterial ally. We are talking about fatty fish, and specifically the unsung hero of the sea, sardines. I know sardines can be a polarizing food. Some of you might be wrinkling your nose right now, but please hear me out. because when it comes to scrubbing your arteries, these tiny fish are giants. The primary weapon here is omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. In our modern diet, we are drowning in omega-6 fatty acids from vegetable oils, processed snacks, and grain-fed meats. This imbalance creates a fire of inflammation in the body. When your arteries are inflamed, they become sticky. Cholesterol gets trapped in the wall, white blood cells attack it, and boom, you have plaque. Omega-3 seconds are the fire extinguisher. They calm this inflammation down at a cellular level, but they do something else remarkable for seniors specifically. They stabilize the electrical activity of the heart and keep the blood slightly thinner, preventing dangerous clots. A landmark study from the Journal of the American Medical Association found that consuming fatty fish once or twice a week reduced the risk of dying from heart disease by 36%. That is a massive number. It's 1/3 if a drug promised a 36% reduction in mortality. It would be on the front page of every newspaper. Yet, we have it right here in a tin. And why sardines over tuna or salmon? Because sardines are at the bottom of the food chain. They don't live long enough to accumulate mercury and toxins the way larger fish do. They are one of the cleanest, safest sources of protein and healthy fat you can eat. Furthermore, these omega-3 seconds act as a brain shield. Your brain is 60% fat, and it requires these specific fatty acids to maintain the integrity of its cells. By feeding your arteries with sardines, you are simultaneously feeding your memory. If you absolutely cannot stomach the taste of sardines, wild-caught salmon or mackerel are excellent alternatives, but I encourage you to try them perhaps mashed with a little avocado and lemon on a cracker. Think of it not just as lunch, but as a premium oil change for your body's engine. We are over halfway through our list, and I hope you're already mentally reorganizing your grocery list. If you are enjoying this deep dive, please do consider sharing this video with a friend or family member who needs to hear this. Sometimes the best way to help someone we love is to simply share knowledge. Now, let's move to number 5, a snack that looks suspiciously like the organ it helps protect. Have you ever noticed that a walnut looks exactly like a tiny human brain? It has the 2 hemispheres, the wrinkled protective coating, it's nature's hint. And while they are indeed incredible for the brain, walnuts are also a miracle for the arteries. They are distinct from other nuts because they are the only tree nut with a significant amount of alpha linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3. But the real soap factor in walnuts comes from their ability to improve endothelial function, again, that lining of the blood vessel. A study published in the journal Circulation showed that replacing saturated fats in the diet with walnuts actually improve the dilation of arteries. When you eat a meal high in unhealthy fats, say a burger or fried food, your arteries tend to stiffen and clamp down for hours afterward. This study found that adding walnuts to the diet helped counteract that effect, keeping the arteries flexible even after a meal. Imagine your arteries are like a rubber band. When they are young, they stretch and snap back easily. As we age, they can become like an old, dried out rubber band that cracks when you pull it. Walnuts help keep the rubber moist and elastic. Just a handful a day, about 14 halves is all you need. You don't want to overdo it because they are calorie dense, but that small handful is a powerful dose of medicine. They make a great snack for when you're watching TV, or you can chop them up and sprinkle them on that morning oatmeal for a double dose of arterial scrubbing power. Finally, we arrive at our 6th internal soap. This one is the simplest, the cheapest, and perhaps the most soothing habit you can start: warm lemon water. Now, you might see this all over the internet as a detox miracle. And I want to be careful with that word. Your liver and kidneys do the detoxing, not the lemon. However, lemon water plays a critical role in the viscosity of your blood. Dehydration is a silent epidemic among seniors. As we get older, our thirst mechanism blunts. We just don't feel thirsty, even when our body is crying out for water. When you are dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker, more like syrup than water. This makes your heart work much harder to pump it through those miles of blood vessels. By starting your day with a glass of warm water, you are immediately hydrating your system and thinning the blood naturally, making it easier to circulate. But why the lemon? Lemons are a source of citrate, which naturally inhibits kidney stones, a common issue as we age. But more importantly, they provide a burst of vitamin C. Vitamin C is essential for the production of collagen. We usually think of collagen for skin, but your blood vessels are structurally made of collagen. Without enough vitamin C, the vessel walls become weak and prone to micro tears. It is these microscopic tears that plaque latches onto in an attempt to patch the damage. By ensuring a steady supply of vitamin C, you are helping to maintain the structural integrity of the vessel wall itself, making it smooth and resilient. There is a study from the Journal of Epidemiology that observed a significant inverse relationship between vitamin C intake and cardiovascular disease. The more vitamin C in the bloodstream, the lower the risk of stroke. It's a simple equation. So the habit is this: first thing in the morning, before the coffee, before the breakfast, have a cup of warm water with half a lemon squeezed into it. The warmth is soothing for your digestion, and the hydration sets the tone for your circulation for the rest of the day. So let's look at the picture we've painted here. We aren't talking about expensive surgeries or rare, hard to find superfoods. We are talking about oats, pomegranate, garlic, sardines, walnuts, and lemon water. This is a shopping list you can fulfill at any neighborhood market. When you combine these, you aren't just eating food, you are engaging in a daily therapy session for your heart. You are using the beta-glucan in oats to bind the cholesterol, the punicalagins in pomegranate to restore that Teflon coating, the allicin in garlic to relax the vessel walls, the omega-trazodone in sardines to quell inflammation, the healthy fats in walnuts to maintain elasticity, and the hydration of lemon water to keep everything flowing smoothly. It is a symphony of biological mechanics all working in harmony to keep you moving, breathing, and living fully. I want you to take a moment and imagine yourself 6 months from now. Imagine walking up a flight of stairs and feeling your breath come easy, your chest feeling light. Imagine waking up with a clarity of mind that makes you excited to tackle the day's crossword or call a grandchild. This isn't a fantasy. It is the biological reward for treating your body with the respect it deserves. It is never, ever too late to start. Your body is forgiving, and it is waiting for you to give it the tools it needs to heal. I want to challenge you this week. Pick just 2 of the foods we discussed today and add them to your routine. Just 2. Maybe it's the lemon water in the morning and the walnuts as a snack. Once those become a habit, add another. Small steps lead to giant leaps in health. Now, I have a question for you, and I really want to hear your answer in the comments. Which of these 6 foods are you most likely to try first? Are you brave enough for the sardines, or are you going to start with the steel-cut oats? Let me know down below. I read every comment, and I love seeing your plans. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. It really helps our channel reach more people who need this information. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our next deep dive into senior health. Remember, getting older is a privilege, and staying healthy is a journey we are on together. Your health is worth fighting for every single day. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Go enjoy that lemon water, and I'll see you in the next video. Be well.